Emmanuel Macron, the president of France, is playing host to world leaders, and attacking one of them. Guess who? As the Washington Post reported on Sunday, in the shadow of a grand war memorial here, French President Emmanuel Macron marked the 100th anniversary of the end of World War I by delivering a forceful rebuke against rising nationalism, calling it a betrayal of patriotism and warning against old demons coming back to wreak chaos and death. For much of Sunday, that article was the most read story on the Post's website. Of course it was not the exact opposite. Really? The reader might be inclined to reach for a dictionary, in search of the difference between those two words, patriotism and nationalism. Actually, don't bother, because they are, in fact, interchangeable. Macron's wordplay was dismissed by John O'Sullivan, who's been a conservative sage since his days as an aide to Prime Minister Margaret Thatcher. O'Sullivan responded to Macron with a tart tweet: "Nonsense. Patriotism and nationalism overlap greatly as political ideas arising from love of country. Those who want to separate them fully get into linguistic difficulties and produce wildly differing definitions of both." In other words, in his eagerness to zap Trump, Macron is splitting hairs. To be sure, plenty of folks will cheerfully defend nationalism, or patriotism, or both, including, just last month, Virgil. But there's more to the story here than words. There's also a struggle for power. You see, even as Macron is zapping Trump for being a nationalist, the French president will be pushing, in Trump's absence, a whole new initiative built around, you guessed it, globalism. As the Post also reported, the president plans to fly home just as Macron's Paris Peace Forum kicks off for 3 days of meetings aimed at galvanizing global action on shared challenges, such as climate change. The Post quoted Thomas Wright, a Europe expert at the Brookings Institution, saying that Macron planned the Paris Peace Forum as a counterpoint to America First. Thus we can see, all the Macron attacks Trump headlines are part of a deliberate strategy. One might think that Macron would be better off tending to his own popularity in France. After all, he's down to 29% approval, and his plan for a new green-inspired fuel tax is widely reviled. Just this month he was roundly booed while visiting an auto factory. Indeed, Macron has set his sights on a bigger prize than France. He wants to be the leader of the international community. Now that German Chancellor Angela Merkel's star has fallen, Macron figures that he can fill her shoes, rallying internationalists and scourging nationalists, starting with Trump. So maybe we should take a closer look at Macron's new venture, the Paris Peace Forum, which will be meeting through November 13th. It even has its own website, dedicated to reviving and improving global governance. Moreover, the Silicon Valley tech lords are well represented, too, starting with Facebook. It was just last year, after all, that CEO Mark Zuckerberg published a manifesto aimed at saving the world, and so the Facebook reps in Paris should be rapturously received. Google and Microsoft are partners, too, making it a safe bet that the words coming from the Paris meeting will include no meaningful criticism of big tech. Indeed, a further look shows that the Paris Peace Forum has received donations from a large number of multinational corporations, banks, and law firms. Yes, there's a lot of money gathered in this city of lights. After all, globalism isn't just a utopian ideology, it's also a big business. And, of course, the media are well represented, too. One such partner is the New York Times. So the Paris Peace Forum will consist, in part, of global organizations teaming up with Macron to grow still more global governance, while Uncle Sugar foots much of the bill. You, dear reader, probably aren't a fan of what they are doing in Paris. But even so, you might as well at least check the Twitter feed.